Well, as we continue to look back to the 2021 July unrest, we have our reporters stationed across the country. In KwaZulu-Natal, we have Karinda Jagmohan following the unrest. And here in Johannesburg, we have Newzroom Afrika's Jagmohan. Let's start with Karinda in KZN, where the city of Durban is still recovering from last year's riots. Karinda Jagmohan is at the Bridge City Mall in KwaMashu, which is still under construction. Karinda, what can you tell us about what's happening there this morning?
Indeed. While my colleague Pilani Zuma will show you the mall still under construction, and it's only going to open in March next year. So in the meanwhile, many residents around this area are battling with just trying to get their basic essentials. Fortunately, a grocery store has opened within the mall, but that's only one grocery store, and we saw one shopper come out just now. Sir, thank you for speaking to us. I know we just pulled you aside. But over the last year, what's the challenges you've been facing without having a mall here?
Hey, ma'am, we have a lot of challenges here because after that happenings, it's too hard to get food. Everything's nice, but we're going to a plaza and buy anything. We can't walk and buy not too far.
The mall is only going to open next year. Is it taking more? Is it costing you more just to try and travel to other areas to get things other than groceries, sir?
It's right when it's open because now I'm happy to open the spa first and the other shop maybe next day is open. I'm happy for that.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. This is one person who just came out of a grocery store, and essentially what they were also telling us off camera is that it is costing him more to go to other malls where there are other stores that they can buy from. Remember, over 200 malls were looted and destroyed or partially destroyed during that week in July last year. Over 1,780 retail stores were also looted and destroyed or partially destroyed. As you take a look at Bridge City, I'll also remind you that this is situated in KwaMashu, but the name Bridge City comes about because of its location. It connects areas around it, including KwaMashu, Newzroom, Inanda, and Phoenix. It's essentially in the middle. It's located in the center of these suburbs and was quite an area that people could come through. It was one of the more premium malls to come through, where you would find furniture stores, retail stores, among other things. What is interesting is that when we were here during the week of the unrest, this entire front of the store was destroyed. You'll see a food outlet here, and what you can't see on this side is that there's still graffiti on the walls here, an expletive with the name of the current president, and that sort of graffiti you would see at the buildings that were destroyed during the looting and the violence last year. Messages written by those who had come to contribute to the looting and violence, putting the graffiti on the walls. So you'll still see that at some of the buildings, even as construction is underway. Nearby, also in KwaMashu, there is a shopping complex that has affordable grocery stores that is still completely destroyed. It was burnt down and it still is essentially in ashes, or you'll still see the soot on the walls. It hasn't been built yet, and so residents who go there to purchase their groceries in a much more affordable manner don't have access to that shopping complex anymore. So that is the situation on the ground still, as the city, like you said, tries to recover a year after. At the core of it, while buildings, the major shopping malls are now coming up once again, it's still an issue for those who live in suburbs like this one that are really taking out more from their pocket because they have to travel extra distances to further shop for their essentials.
Well, Karinda, clearly we still have desperate consumers and desperate shoppers feeling the effects of the unrest. I know that you were in conversation with business owners affected by those riots. We know that the Commission has already warned that the socio-economic challenges facing South Africa place the country at risk of a repeat of the unrest that we saw last year. Do business owners share the same concerns that not enough is being done to protect them from future occurrences?
Indeed, that is a major concern for businesses. As I tell you about this, my colleague Pilani Zuma will also continue just showing you the construction here at this mall. Yesterday, the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry actually was part of a media briefing by the KZN government and actually conveyed that a majority of businesses that are in Durban, especially major investors, have conveyed concern about the lack of security and law enforcement during the week of the July unrest. And their major concern is, going forward, would security have the capacity to prevent another type of event, another series of incidents that we saw last year? They say they have been in meetings with various law enforcement agencies, as well as trying to understand from the Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster the capacity of police here in KwaZulu-Natal. That has been a major concern, especially because we saw police overwhelmed last year. So there has also been now efforts from the KZN government to even try and speak to international investors to assure them of their probable success in investing in the city of Durban, despite what has happened here last year. Remember, at that time, the economy faced a major blow, and still the local economy lost 50 billion rand because of what happened. So indeed, business owners are extremely concerned about law enforcement, the capacity of law enforcement to attend to criminal elements in KwaZulu-Natal, especially even general crime on the rise across the country, and how police, or really the local and national government, is actually looking at trying to go against the crime that is increasing. So that is definitely a major concern, not just from business owners, but also residents around various suburbs.
Well, thank you very much, Karinda, for that perspective as we continue to mark a year since those July unrest. Very interesting to note that both the desperation and concerns that we've been monitoring haven't abated, even though so much time has gone by. Now,